the less lethal contingencies. Alan here. So today we're going to be shooting some more of those 5-gram AR tactical hammer rounds, okay? The blue ones. All right, we're going to be shooting 6 of these, and we're going to be shooting it out of my IntruBuster Generation 2, brought to you by Mercury Rise. And we're going to be shooting it, this IntruBuster Gen 2 carbine, what I'm calling my Terminator build, has a 12-inch 6.86 barrel, and it's finished off with a Recon muzzle brake, just for cosmetics. And we're also running the Home Defense 24 long tuning ASA, okay? And we're going to be running this at 800 PSI. I have an 8 CI tank, 800 PSI, and we're pumped up to just about, let's see, just about 3,000 PSI capacity. Okay, so we're going to spin that in there. I added a little bit of restriction. I added my washer in there just to add a little restriction since we do have a slide check. I ended up refitting my smaller bottles, well, pretty much almost all of my bottles now, with slide check regulators, the on and off built in. They work well because they take up less space. Then you don't have to have a messing around with a separate on and off. However, they are known for a lot of volume or airflow, which can sometimes, depending on the marker, can cause auto fire. So that's why I'm introducing a little bit of restriction in there by adding that washer in the back to kind of knock down some of that inrush of airflow. Yeah, so 800 PSI, output regulated, and we're going to shoot 6 of these 5 grams. At least start off with that anyways. Let me go ahead and air it up and check it for leaks, and then if everything's leak free, we'll go from there. Okay, it sounds good. Oh, and I also have a new addition. My new foregrip, or vertical grip I should say, is a matrix CNC aluminum skeletonized vertical grip, okay, that I picked up at a company called evic.com, and they sell all sorts of things paintball related. Matter of fact, that's also where I picked up the slide check regulators. Got a good price on those too. Thank you, Barry, for giving me a heads up on that. So I did pick up 2 of those slide check regulators, $850, but when I tested them, they're coming in about $800. So a little on the soft side, but so was the AR tactical one that I picked up as well. It was supposed to be $850 and it's about $800. So maybe a little over that. So they seem to be consistently running a little lower, these regulators. Doesn't seem to matter what brand you buy. They all seem to have that one common thread there. All right, so we're aired up on 800 PSI. This is, again, a 8 CI tank. We should be able to get, you know, depending on what the setup is on the back end, usually I get 2 or 3 mags out of that, but we're going to start off with the 1 mag of the 5 gram first. I want to see what we're getting out of this configuration. All right, let me turn that motion sensor back on. Yeah, so let me get my other ear in, protect my ears, and all right, we'll see how these 8 grams fly. All right, that's 6 of the hammer rounds. Okay, this is what it looks like. Looks pretty good, nice and comfortable. All right, I'll just be calling out the feet per second as I shoot. All right, 5 gram hammer round, 800 PSI, high pressure air. Shot 1, 672.2 feet per second. Shot 2, 663.1 feet per second. Shot 3, 665.6 feet per second. Shot 4, 663.1 feet per second. Shot 5, woo, 659.4 feet per second. That one came ricocheting back, man. I got stuck in, well, let me shoot the 6-1, and I'll have to go fish that out behind the pegboard. That was a little crazy ricochet there, right? All right, the last one, shot 6 of these 5-grammer jammers, right? All right, here we go. Here comes a 5-gram hammer round, shot 6. 662.1 feet per second. All right. That is indeed all 6 of those. And let's see what we have left for pressure on this. Well, not too bad. Sitting at about 2. Just maybe a little bit under 2,000 psi. Not too shabby. Okay, so I would expect we'd get probably 3 mags out of this with this light stuff. Let me degas or de-air it for a minute before I get too much further. Let me go ahead and see if I can fish that thing out, man. All right. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. All right. We got that one. Let's do this. Let's clean the trap out really quick. And then I think we're going to run, instead of running some more of these 5 grams, they're going to mix it up and run something else. All right. Did I have another one? I think another one may have went flying out of here. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, that's 5 and then 6. 5 and then 6. All right. All right. Got all 6 of these little buggers. All right, let me just wipe them off a little. So I'm thinking that maybe the next thing we'll do, I mean, we got 2,000 psi pressure left out of that. What did I say this was? My 8 CI tank or my 7? I think it's my 8 CI tank. But anyways, I got 2,000 psi left. 800 output is the regulated output pressure. So I would think we'll get 2 more mags. No problem, I would think. So I think what I'm going to do now is I want to run some of the, I haven't shot these yet. I want to run some of the new 10-gram AR Tactical S-type shaped, S for shaped, I suppose. Yeah, the 10-gram shaped ammunition. I haven't had a chance to shoot that yet. I've had it for a little while. So I think what I'm going to do is we'll run a magazine of that and see how it works through here. So yeah, let me get that going here. And these are the AR Tactical shaped, right? 10-gram shaped rounds. These come in at a 6.84. So we're going to load up 6 of these and see how these do. And I checked them all for burrs and stuff. They look good. And Both of my magazines do have the fix, the feeding fix where I ended up taking a file, taking the spring out and filing this channel so that that fowler would go up and down nice and smooth by itself without the spring. This way I know under spring tension, it's not going to have any problems, because I did have a problem in the middle of this magazine. There was restriction there. And I believe once I got to like shot 3 or 4, that's when I was seeing my jams. It wasn't the first shot or the second. So it was probably where I was getting some restriction. Anyways, I got a video on that on the Tech Talk. If you're interested, the Tech Talk playlist. Simple thing. Pull the spring really quick, check your fowler, see if it's coming up and down. If it's coming up and down, fine, then you don't need to do anything. Put it back together. But if it's hanging up anywhere and not going up and down, traveling properly, then you may want to do that, sand the channel down where the high spot is, and it'll help a lot with feeding, especially the shaped rounds or any of the heavier rounds. It will help a lot. All right, so yeah, so I have my magazines already been fixed there, so we're good with that. Let me put my hearing protection back on, and then we'll air it back up, and we'll see what these 10-gram shaped projectiles can do for us. All right. Sounds good. No leaks. The laser on. All right, so we have 6 of these 10-gram S-types in here. And all right, so this will be our second magazine on this 8CI tank. All right, first we did the 5 grams. Now we're going to do the 10-gram shaped. And let's see how these fly. All right, Mag 2, 10-gram S-type, 800 PSI. Shot 1. 477.9 feet per second. Shot 2. 478.4 feet per second. Shot 3. 479.1 feet per second. Shot 4. 481.7 feet per second. Shot 5. 474.9 feet per second. And it should be the last one, shot 6. Ooh. I think we got a jam on shot 6, I think. I think we got our first jam. All right, let's take a look. We were doing good, huh? We had 5. No jams, we had 5. And then all of a sudden, yes we do, it spun right around in there. All right. It is degassed. Let me take the tank off too. What do we do for pressure? Yeah, with just a little bit over 1,000 PSI left on here. So we probably would have got 3 mags, no problem with this tank, even though it's a small tank. It's a 8CI tank. But we have just about a little bit over 1,000 PSI left. That's after shooting the 5-gram magazine of 5 grams and a mag of the, well, almost a mag of the 10-gram shaped, right? I got one, the last one just kind of got stuck in the breech. So hopefully it's not going to be that much trouble coming out. But once you safely de-air it, the bolt should have retracted back, and it looks like it did. Now I just need to get the little... Yeah, I would never try this under air pressure. Always degas or de-air the gun. Sometimes the bugger is going to be really tight in there. And this one got spun around pretty good. So, but yeah, this is why a lot of guys don't like to mess with the shaped rounds. But I figured, hey, let me try it. I had some good luck with the 8 gram after I reworked and got the burrs off them and reworked my magazines. I had really good luck. I ended up having 2 mags of the 8 gram without a single problem with them. Of course, you're probably saying, yeah, you should be able to go even further than that. I agree. Yeah. So this one's gone wedged in there pretty good. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on the camera or not. But yeah, she flipped right around. That round flipped around. So it's going to take me a little time to get that out of there. I may have to pull off the back of the gun, pull the bolt and valve assembly out just so I can get that to drop out of there. That's the way I would go with these two. If you have one jam that bad where it doesn't come out, again, not under pressure, always degas or de-air the marker. You don't want to run the risk that something comes marginally loose and then comes flying out on you. But if it won't come out with something like this, like a wooden chopstick or something, this is actually a paintbrush handle. This works pretty good for this sort of stuff. If it won't come out easily from that, then don't stick something down the barrel. Because if you stick something down the barrel, you're probably going to push that. There's a good chance that you could push out that, well, you're not going to, don't stick something down the barrel after you pull the back apart, okay? I wouldn't suggest doing that because there's a high chance that you could end up pushing out the spring stop and then you got to pull it apart. Especially on this one, you got to open up the clamshell just to get in there and change and fix that. So I wouldn't recommend that, but I'm going to have to pull the back of this off, take the bolt and valve off. Once that's out of there, I should be able to get in there and knock and dislodge that S-type round out of there. But you don't need to watch me do that. Most of you guys are just not going to be interested in seeing that anyway. So, and it may take some time. So, yeah, so that's today's testing, right? We saw some really good feet per second, naturally with the lighter ammunition, the 5 gram AR tactical hammer rounds, okay? You've seen me shoot that quite a few times now, but those worked out really well. The first 5 of the 10 gram S-type, they were flying. Probably going to see some really good numbers for those. I'll update the video with all the jewel number information. But yeah, I got the 6th one. It flipped itself in there. So that's what happens sometimes when that's why a lot of guys don't want to use the shape stuff for home defense. I can see the point. So anyways, but I needed to test them. So at least I got that done. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace out.